Hello, my name is Jeremiah Che, and today I will be presenting on the Brooklyn Bridge, which was completed in 1883. I'm going to explain how it reflects the culture of its time, how it was constructed, and how a similar structure would have been built in 1700 before the Industrial Revolution, along with how earlier engineering failures shaped this design. So, in the mid 1800s, Manhattan and Brooklyn were rapidly growing industrial cities separated by the East River, and ferry travel was often super crowded and unreliable. The United States was in the heart of the Industrial Revolution, defined by steel production, steam power, and expanding rail networks. And the Brooklyn Bridge was supposed to connect the two different parts of New York City and reduce congestion, support economic growth, and just symbolize America's engineering confidence. So the culture of New York at the time valued innovation, immigration, economic opportunity, and infrastructure expansion. The bridge embodied these values. It was not only a transportation project, but a monument to technological optimism and the belief that engineering could unite different communities and solve lots of different urban challenges. Structurally, the bridge had to withstand tension in its steel suspension cables, compression in its stone towers, wind forces across the river, and heavy loads from pedestrians and vehicles. When completed, its 1,590-foot main span was the longest in the whole world, making these engineering demands very, very difficult and unprecedented. The bridge was designed by John A. Roebling and was completed by his son Washington Roebling. Construction used steel wire cables, granite and limestone towers, and steel trusses. Workers excavated foundations using pneumatic caissons. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Pressurized underwater chambers, a cutting edge method, which were all cutting edge methods at the time, and steam engines, pneumatic tools, and derricks lifted and moved materials. Labor was largely performed by immigrant workers, reflecting the diverse and industrial workforce of New York. False work included timber scaffolding around the towers, temporary platforms over the river, and cable spinning frames. Materials traveled by barges, rail, and steam powered hoists. And if this bridge were built in 1700, it would look and be constructed very differently. Steel cable suspension bridges didn't exist back then, so it would likely be a stone arch bridge or a heavy timber structure. And foundations would rely on cofferdams in shallow water instead of pneumatic caissons. And construction would use lots of hand tools and block and tackle systems and animal labor. Skilled craftsmen like stonemasons and carpenters would dominate the workforce, and transportation would depend on horses and wooden barges. False work would also be entirely timber scaffolding. And basically, at this time, there weren't as many immigrant workers in America as well, which is why it would be a lot more specialized workers from America. And past failures that also shaped the Brooklyn Bridge included earlier suspension bridge collapses that led to stronger steel cables and improved anchorage systems. And the dangerous conditions inside caissons, including decompression sickness, influenced future safety standards and pressurized work. In conclusion, the Brooklyn Bridge reflects the ambition and industrial innovation of the late 1800s, and comparing it to how a similar structure would be built in 1700 demonstrates how culture, technology, labor, transportation, and lessons from failure shaped and built the new environment and lots of different future structures to come. Thank you.